Event Viewer is a very important part of Windows. If you are having errors or problems with Windows, you know, if your system starts crashing or failing at certain points in time, and it starts happening frequently, there's definitely something where you can go and look for different issues that might be arising. The same thing goes for things like someone hacking you or you're getting viruses. A lot of stuff is found here that will make sure that you can detect issues, solve them. But then again, it's a very technical, very difficult thing to understand. You will not understand everything that's there. Not everything is logged. Not everything is automatically put there, but you will find a lot of information there, and you do need to have some research skills, or you at least the capability of going through Google and just searching for solutions, because you know, this will not necessarily make any sense if you don't understand what it says, especially like the codes can be like almost hexadecimal codes that don't really make much sense if you don't know what they mean. So again, like the previous times we went through these, we have apps and features, power options, event viewer, system, device manager. These two we went through last time, but we skipped event viewer because I wanted to do a longer video and I didn't have time at the time. And we are going to go through event viewer. As we can see, we have this window. If you've watched the system and device manager video, you already saw this one pop up. This one was one of the properties of some of the devices that we could go through this, but then we didn't go into it too much depth because I didn't want to at the time. Because there's a lot of stuff here. We have a lot of different things we can select. In fact, I am going to put my screen on the other side. Currently, the right side has a whole panel with more information. But again, like mostly in Windows, a lot of these things are going to be things that repeat themselves, so you have multiple options of going through the same thing. I don't think this is very efficient. This is a very legacy-like window. As you can see, this is almost Windows 98 or XP worth of an experience. I think, or it could be that in Windows 11 this has changed, but I am uncertain about that. I haven't been on Windows 11 because of issues with how it has been developed and made and the decisions Microsoft is making. But we are in Event Viewer. You can click File, go through options. As with anything, you can delete disk cleanup. You know, you can delete these files. This is not a very large file, so definitely no need to do this. This isn't going to grow into, you know, something that encapsulates your entire system. This is just all text format, so it's always going to be very or usually going to be very small, unless you're running like a large scale system with like you know, a lot of traffic going in and out. But that's usually not something that a Windows computer will do, because, you know, supercomputers and large scale computers are usually ran on Linux. Let me see. We have actions. You can open saved logs. This is great if you are doing something like exercises and there's stuff that you need to open, you know, or you get stuff from someone who has been having issues, like you get a file from someone who has been having issues. Then you can, of course, open this and make sure The next thing we can do here is we can create a custom view. Just like everything that is here, everything is over here. Like I just said, we just have a double copy of the exact same thing in multiple windows. We can create a custom view, select this, and then we get this page where there are various filters that we can go through. But before we go through this, it would be handy that we actually already went through some of these. If we look at the left here, we see Event Viewer Local. We can change and use another event viewer. If we actually press it, we see the overview and summary, and we see all sort of things like audit success, critical errors that happened within several days. I think kernel power is probably one that I had recently, where my system crashed due to what I guess is GPU failure. I was recording myself as I am now, and I tried to change like the size of my webcam's capture, and then just my computer and my GPU said, I don't understand what you're doing, and everything froze. And that was that for the experience of me being capable of working on my computer. I couldn't even turn off the power button. This is probably one that has been registered within these 7 days. Can happen, you know. It was a long time since something like that happens, and there's a clear reason why, so there's no need for investigation. I used to have errors where I always, every time, had issues, especially after an update of Windows, that my computer would continually freeze, and the only way that I would be able to get out of it freezing all the time was by going to Task Manager and resetting Explorer when I just booted my computer. I'm now using Windows 10. I hope that this means that there will be a lot less frequent updates, because that will make sure that I get less issues over time, and that I don't need to reboot my computer all the time. That's amazing. But back to Event Viewer, we have recently viewed nodes, we have log summary, you know, everything is here, that if you want to go through an overview of everything that has been happening on our system. Now, this is of course very unhandy to go through. Like, list is not very long. If we have to pinpoint something, it's pretty hard. We do have some options here. Maybe we can add some more options if we go to customize. No, not at all. We can refresh the list. We can go to help. But overall, this isn't the most, you know, the most the most you know, the most thorough or the best way to view these logs. Another thing that I just mentioned, we are on local. If we want to connect to another computer, we can do that on the right, and we can try and find another computer on the network or whatever and go through these logs of the other device or whatever that we'd like to be going through. We have the custom views, but to understand the custom views, we actually just need to look through our other 2 folders here. We have Windows logs, we have just the general application, security, setup, system, forwarded events, which is absolutely 0, so nothing happened in that regard. So as you can see, it's completely empty, doesn't really do anything at the moment, but we do have clearly visible several things that are happening in, for example, applications. We see errors, we see information of things that are running on this PC, information, we have warnings of stuff. These don't really matter in general. Your computer will keep running even if it runs through errors. Your computer is built to be able to run through errors. At least a good developer will make sure that your computer can and will fail. Your computer will fail, but it will fail graciously and keep your device running. Why? Because errors always happen. It might be that it's like some sun ray or some sunbeam that hits your computer at the right angle, and some I don't know, some photon or so whatever, so radiation that targets your PC, and a bit that used to be a 0 flips into a 1, or vice versa. That causes an error because now your file is somewhat corrupted. You don't want your computer to fail because of something minor that happens, or maybe something miswrites, a miscalculation. In general, you know, it's just because you are using Outlook or Word or any sort of application doesn't mean that your computer needs to entirely crash because because one of these applications crashes. Things happen all the time, even with Apple, even with any sort of device you use. There's always something that will go wrong. I've never seen a system that is 100% robust and never fails. Even today, even after 30 years of personal, 30, maybe even 40, I think the first personal computers, that was the 80s. So even after 40 years of building these systems, they still fail. Windows is one that fails all the time and still fails regularly and really badly, which is why I don't like Windows, and which is why I am not switching anymore. Windows 10 was a really good one, but then I like the UI and the look of Windows 11, but in general, Windows can make a lot of these issues happen. For everything that we have here, we have certain event IDs. Event IDs don't necessarily mean when it happened. It means that it's being given an ID. And if we look here, we can see that the security SPP has a particular event ID happening frequently. This might be the same idea for some other application. I don't know of any that overlap. Maybe if we just go through it based on event ID, we might see one, but I don't currently see overlap in them. But as you can see, there's all sorts of events happening here over time that do have the same ID. In this case, it does seem to be that it's like something that's happening on the same date, but over a few seconds of time. I just got booted out of this one. Here we see another one. This one is happening, this error is happening very frequently over time. Is it on the same time? It is currently at the same date, but it's happening frequently. I'd say at some point in my system, Restart Manager is doing something over time on various dates. Warning, it says, and we have some general details under here that we can go through if one of these happens, if we've pinpointed something that went wrong. Like for example, my computer crashes, I don't know why. I can go and look at these errors and see what error has been happening. It says error 1704. Chrome remote desktop host, an installation for WebEx is currently suspended. You must undo the changes by that installation to continue. Do you want to undo those changes? So this has something to do with Chrome remote desktop host, a certain error, an installation for WebEx is currently suspended. You must undo the changes by the installation. So this is related to me using remote desktop by Chrome, so by Google, which I prefer over but I've already said that in another episode, I prefer over in general the one of Windows itself. But we'll see that and we'll go through that in a later time. We have log name, application, MS installer, logged, we have events, etc., etc. We have various things going on. We have a computer, desktop. This is my desktop system. It's all happening on this computer. If I opened with my actions, or rather even, yes, my actions. I don't think it's my actions. If I open a saved log from somewhere else, it was here before. I think it changes based on what I have selected. As you can see, event properties, attach task to this event, save selected events. This has all to do with this particular event at this point, because I've selected one of these. So I can go and see these event properties in a different pane. But again, I have this here already, so there's no need for this unless I like it in a larger view. And then I can go to details and I can see the friendly view of what's all going on with, again, as I said before, hexadecimal. We get these sort of archaic binaries that are difficult for a human to read, the binary data. So this can get very technical. We can also get the XML view, you know, like almost like an HTML page, where we can see this sort of information and how it is printed out and logged. For that, another thing, attach task to this event. We can try this one. We can make a particular task happen based on this event. I'm not going to go fully through this. It's even already lagging at this point. I don't know if this is going to do much good or bad. And I can you know, attach to this event happening starting a program. So for example, if this sort of event happens, then I want a window to pop up or program to start or whatever, in order to know that it happens or to fix the issue. You know, for example, if a particular error happens that shouldn't be happening, another program might fix the issue if it's not an immediate critical issue. But I'm not going to currently make actions happening. We'll see again in a later video, task manager, etc. We can make events happen, or of event viewer, which we're in right now. We can make certain things happen that happen over time, and that we can install on our computer, not really install, but like make our computer do at certain times or certain events that are happening. We can save the selected events. Not going to do that right now. You copy the table, copy details as text, and refresh. So we've been through these. You know where you can find all the error messages and the details about it. This is all logged here, and there are, as we can see, various sorts of logs, various sorts of event IDs, various things that can be happening. Same goes for security. We have security logs, people logging in, user account management, I'm gonna guess. Audit success, we can look here if someone's been trying to log in unsuccessfully. Setup is going to be a bunch of information about services, servicing sources. SMB, one protocol server, is one that we have here. If you know what that is about. If you don't worry. You'll grow and learn to understand this. This has to do with networking and finding devices on my network. I have system, kernel, event logs, event log in general. The system uptime at some point was logged. Windows Update client information about my system, service control manager, distributed COM, etc., etc. We have various things that we could be logging here, seeing here, and going through. And this one again had nothing happening. Hardware events happening related to my hardware, but I doubt this has anything logged, as we can see. But again, it could be that there's things here. I think I accidentally, or just in general, removed a lot by using CCleaner recently on my device. This might have had more going on at some point, but then again also look at, which is also hardware related, Intel logging. It says to make this analytic, debug, and classic event log easier to navigate and manipulate, first save it in .evt.txt format by using the save all events as. Not going to currently do that because it's empty in the first place. Internet Explorer, I don't use Internet Explorer. This is archaic stuff. I don't think this is now meant to be Edge, but Internet Explorer is usually still installed on Windows systems because it's related to a lot of stuff related to networking and how Windows functions as a networking device. I think Internet Explorer, they made probably the mistake of integrating that too much into the system itself, being like a very big part of Windows. You can still find some of the old archaic stuff of Internet Explorer if you're going through your system. But I guess they thought they were going to make Internet Explorer work, which we know never happened because it's been discontinued. We have Key Manager Service, Microsoft related, anti-malware we see, scans when it comes to malware, but again doesn't have anything in it currently. I'm not going to do the save. You can do that yourself if you want to. Microsoft, we don't see anything in particular. I did see something. Microsoft Office Alert is one that has a lot of information going on related to Microsoft Office. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these. Like I've opened SSH, Visual Studio. If I were coding with Visual Studio here, I do have Visual Studio Code. But nothing has been logged. Windows PowerShell, and so on and so forth. Subscriptions to work with the Windows Event Collector service must be running and configured. Do you want to start a service? I am no, I'm not going to currently run any extra services. I don't want to run into issues while I'm going through these. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to close these and I'm going to click next to it, maybe just on this one. I want the old view again. I don't get the, it seems not to give me the overall view that I had before, but to get back to where we started, in all the way in the beginning, we had create custom view. And here we can do what actually basically these custom views do. We have custom views that have been pre-made that filter through certain events. For example, this one is for administrative events. This one is specifically about my GPU, and this one is specifically about my audio. I can create, I got the whole view again. I can create the custom view. And I can choose when it was logged, last 30 days, a custom range, any time, the last hour. So how specific do I want to be? For example, something happened in the last hour. I don't need to know everything that ever happened on this device. The level of what it was, is it verbose or not important, error, information, warning, critical, by log. I can go through these. Which of these do I want to go through and select? Do I want to go through a specific source, which is also all these specific applications that I have installed on my computer? Do I want to use any of these? Includes or excludes event IDs, enter ID numbers and or ID ranges, separate by commas to exclude criteria, blah 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 blah. Critical, warning. I don't see that I'm not currently getting this to be turned on. I can probably do that if I just turn that on. So if I now want to find certain keywords, or if this is available, a category, a certain user on my computer, which computer, if I have multiple computers connected, and the XML of this as what I have selected. So I can actually create my own XML quick and easy that I can set up and edit it manually. I am not going to do that right now. I'm going to press OK. I'm not going to save this one. I think it actually did. Oh, it's loading. No. Let it slide. I can import custom view. So if I have one saved from somewhere else, or I downloaded one from someone else that has a solution to something I want to do, I can filter the current custom view. I can look at the properties, find certain things, save all the events that are here. If I want to export the custom view, copy custom view, attach task to this custom. Again, I can make a task happen when it comes to this view. So if I want to have event viewer open, if something is logging, so I can immediately grab it and see it, I can. And then this is more or less the same. Event properties, attach task to this event. And I think that is kind of like it. This was a little bit longer just for one program, but it's a very critical one. It's one where you will find a lot of various informations, tasks, various things that would give you clues as to what is happening to your system. And as a system administrator, this is a very important part of your day-to-day task. I hope this is helpful to you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.